Alright, so we're back for another numbered event between Islam Makhachev versus Machado Garry. And before we start, I want to say I'm going to be complaining a lot in this video, just because in the viewer aspect, this is a good card to watch, but in a betting aspect, this is a horrible card to bet on. And every single pick, you're gonna understand as I'm going through my predictions why. There's a lot of like iffy moments, iffy fights, some back and forth fights, some not clear. Can he get the sub? Can he not get the sub? Like this card in a betting aspect, I'm telling you right now, it's horrible. It's horrible. Okay, it's not like the past 3 weeks. This card is going to be very dangerous, especially when it comes to props and this and that. So please be careful. And if I'm complaining and if I'm complaining and being annoying, well, that's fucking why. Because I just finished tape on all these motherfuckers, and it was honestly one of the hardest fucking cards to do tape on, just because it was just so painful to watch a lot of these fighters. And we're gonna get into it, okay? So, starting with the first fight, of course, Jeremiah Wells versus Mytykbek Orolbai. Again, there's a reason why Orolbai is a minus 1,000 favorite. I'm not going to give you a whole spiel here. Jeremiah Wells, people like to say he has power, he has this, he has that. You could have power, but if you don't have the fucking striking for it, it doesn't matter. He only has power in round one. And even when he has power in round one, this motherfucker is swinging from his fucking hips. You see the shots coming from a mile away. You're not going to get knocked out. And then in rounds 2 and 3, he's fucking gassed. Wells is a grappler at heart, and he's a BJJ person at heart. And in his last fight, you saw in round 2 and 3, he actually got quite tired against, I think it was Themba, if I double check right now. Yes, against Themba, he was honestly tired. Yeah, he won rounds 2 and 3. That was only because Themba was a lot more tired than him. And of course, Wells was just on top of him in round 2 and 3 on top position and mount on his back, whatever. So he could have, rested. But coming out of, round one, coming out of round two, he was gassed and tired. And just watch him swing his punches and you would notice, holy shit, he's actually tired. And Jeremiah Wells is the same motherfucker who was beating Carlston Harris 2 rounds to 0, and then he was so fucking tired that in round 3 he goes for the laziest double leg, puts his neck out there, homie locks in the anaconda choke, and wins the fucking fight. In this fight against Orolbai, Orolbai is gonna win. But then again, we can't make money off of a minus 1100, so we gotta figure out how the fuck does he fucking win? Because Orolbai is a bitch. He has beautiful wrestling, but his BJJ isn't there. I honestly think Jeremiah Wells probably has the better, pure BJJ, but Orolbai looks strong. Orolbai is strong. Orolbai doesnn't really like for example, in his last fight against Chris Curtis, he didn't look tired. Like he was on him and he was dominating him, and he didn't look tired. And that's 185 Chris Curtis, and against Jack Hermanson, he didn't wrestle at all. It seems like someone in his corner is kind of smart. Don't wrestle the BJJ guy. Just knock his ass out because he's chinny. That's what he did. And I'm like, damn, this motherfucker has a little bit of IQ, this fucking blockhead. Against Tofik Musayev, he just fucking, manhandled him and just forced the Kimura. Udos Medic, he forced the fucking submission, even though he didn't have it. In this fight, it's tricky because Orolbai's not going to get a knockout. Well, I mean, he probably won't get a knockout. And to submit Jeremiah Wells, it's hard because he is very defensively sound when it comes to the BJJ. So if Orolbai gets a submission, like he has to kind of like force it. Like it has to be like a face crank, a Kimura, something that he could force it. Because when it comes to like pure BJJ, Jeremiah Wells is good. So he's going to have to like gas out Wells and maybe in round 2 and 3, like force a fucking submission, man. Or maybe Jeremiah Wells, gets a bad reversal, leaves his neck there, and he gets a submission. Is because I cannot play because I know Orolbai is gonna dominate Wells. That's why it's tricky to play the decision here. That's why I do like the submission here. It's just I'm not really confident in it because Orolbai, he's just a wrestler, and just look at him. He doesn't have a fucking look at him. Just I don't think he thinks, and that's a little hard. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Orolbai by submission. Hopefully it's submission. Hopefully, it's not one of those where the BJJ guys, the defensive wrestling is so good that he doesn't give up the submission, but he gives up the knockout. I will fucking crash out. Or by submission, I think it's plus 285 when it came out. It did drop to plus 240 right now. I think round 2 submission is like plus 900. Round 3 submission is plus 1800. Anyways, for the next fight, am I even recording? Is my audio on? It is. For my next fight, oh my god, Neil Magny versus Ramiz Barboza, like the Albanian. This is where it gets tricky because it's like, you look at this fight and you're like, well, surely Neil Magny wins, right? Because Neil Magny he's 39 years old, while Ramiz is coming on 34 years old in 4 months. Neil Magny is 6'3", while Barmiraj is only 5'10". Right, the Albanian is 5'10", Neil Magny is 6'3". Also, Neil Magny has 8 inches of reach advantage, so it's like Neil Magny should win this because again, Neil Magny always fraud checks these lower level people. And Brahimaj, I'm just gonna call him Albanian, and the Albanian is quite low level. I dropped my fucking thing. He is low level, and we all know this. He is low level. He is not good. So when this fight came out and I saw the odds, I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna take the Albanian. I'm gonna take his money line. I'm gonna take his submission, this and that and that. Then I started watching their tape, and I'm like, fuck, the Albanian is garbage. And you look at his record and you watch his tape. Same thing. All of his wins are submissions, right? All of his wins are submissions except for one. He lost against Punahali because he got wrestled. He didn't do anything in that fight. He was losing to Aston Vanderfort, and then he gave up the submission. Billy Ray Goff gave him a free win. Mickey Gall, seriously, like, you like, look, as long as you have some decent wrestling and you're not dumb, you could beat the Albanian, right? He's just a BJJ guy with a few front chokes and that's it. Like, he's not good at the wrestling aspect of this. So when I was doing tape, I was like, oh my god, Neil Magny's the fucking lock of the century. Then I started watching Neil Magny, and I'm like, this is not how I remember him. Why the fuck? Like, in this fight, he was shooting for takedowns. I'm like, he was slowing down. I don't recall which fight it was. I don't know if I think it was in all of them, to be honest. In the Mike Mala and the Jake Matthews and the EDSs, he was shooting for takedowns in the middle of the cage, and it was because he was tired in round 2 and 3. He was shooting for the most easiest fucking takedowns ever. And I'm like, holy fuck, if you do that against Albanian, he's gonna lock up your fucking neck. So now I'm in a pickle because I'm like, fuck. Like, if I like, why the hell? Like, again, it's like, oh my god, because it's like you look at this and you're like, wow, Neil Magny has only lost to the best of the best: Ian Gary, Carlos Praches, Yaroslav Amosov, Michael Morales. He's gonna smoke. He's been smoking Phil Rowe, Mike Mallett. He's been smoking Jake Matthews, even though he was losing that fight. And then all I see is him fucking going for those lazy fucking takedowns. And I'm like, bro, if you do that against the Albanian, he's gonna fucking submit you. So it's tricky. Like, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the Albanian. I don't like the pick. Albanian via sub, because again, it's like the Albanian. It's not like the Albanian's gonna go and take him down and submit him, right? It's usually the opposite. It's usually you try to take him down, he reverses you, or you go for a lazy takedown. Your neck is open, and he snatches something up, and it's like Neil Magny is experienced enough to not do that. But then I saw him do that against Jake Matthews, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? So it's tricky, man. Honestly, this is tricky. It's hard. But I'm gonna have to go with the Albanian via submission. I don't want to, honestly. Fuck this fight. But tape studies, tape study. Anyways. Next up, we have Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando, and this is another problematic fight. It really is problematic, right? Because Rafael Tobias, we saw, he's a BJJ nerd with 0 striking, and here's the kicker: 0 fucking wrestling. Okay, so it's hard because you look at Tobias and it looks like he has good jiu-jitsu, but he has horrible wrestling against DR. His wrestling, he had no wrestling. He had no wrestling. He would pick up the single leg, then fucking drop it. And then when he would get him against the cage, he would look for trips. But DR, Uzbeki, they have a little bit of wrestling in them. He defended it so well. And it wasn't like, oh my god, he had to defend something so hard. It was the most simplest trips. And like when he wouldn't get it, he would let go. And it's like he wasn't even trying to get the takedown because he was also slowing down and he has 0 striking. And he also didn't want to get beat by elbows and uppercuts and knees. So he would let go. He wasn't really committing to it. He looked so bad in that fight. But then again, I go and I do tape on Lucas Fernando, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's a very good striker. He strikes. He's very long and tall and lanky, and he fights like that. He uses everything. He uses his knees. He uses his elbows. He's very for a heavy guy. He's very soft and light on the feet, and those are the most dangerous guys. Like like Uros Medic, for example. Uros Medic is very soft on his feet. He goes in and out, in and out. Same with Lucas Fernandez. Like, he's very accurate. He's a decent striker, a very good striker. But then I keep watching tape on him, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy has 0 fucking wrestling. And I'm like, oh my god, like, this guy has horrible footwork, and he has horrible wrestling. Like, literally, if you just ram into him like fucking Joe Goldberg, you gotta take him down. And he doesn't know how to get the fuck back up. So it's tough because it's like, I could see Lucas Fernandez knocking out Tobias easily. But then at the same time, if somehow Fernando is on the floor, I know for a fact he's not getting back up. He's not. And there's not enough tape to see if he has improved in that aspect of his game. So that's what makes it tricky, because homie's a minus 300 favorite. Minus fucking 300 favorite? I swear to God, like, bro, he has no fucking grappling. He has no wrestling. And it's like, man, if Tobias is on top of you, you instantly lose that round. And I don't know, man, because he has nasty low kicks. He has nasty striking. I could see him knocking out fucking Tobias so easily. But at the same time, if he like trips or something, and he's on the floor, I know he's not getting back up. I know he's not getting back up. And when you have a 205, like there's a difference. When there's a 145 guy on top of you, it's not a big deal. You can just hold him in whatever. But when you have a 205 guy on top of you, ground and pounding you, it only takes one fucking shot, you know, and then you turn around and you give up your neck and it's over. This is a hard fight to call. I know, it's minus 300, but it's hard because Lucas Fernando has zero fucking grappling. At least from what I've seen on tape, he has no grappling at all. So it's like I can't take Fernando. Like as a pick wise, yes, you're supposed to take Fernando here, but like in a betting perspective, I just can't take him minus 300. Fuck, you better not get taken down once. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay away from this fight. Honestly, I'm probably gonna play both. I'm probably gonna play Tobias by submission and Lucas. I don't think I can play Lucas. Yeah, because his knockout is plus 100. Yeah, I'm gonna sprinkle Tobias submission or something. But in reality, my pick is I think Fernando wins. I think Fernando gets an easy knockout. But I can't really play that. Maybe I play round one knockout, but we'll see. Stay away. Oh my fucking god! Again. Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore. When I saw this fight, come out and I saw the odds, I was like, holy shit, Luque free fucking money. But then I started doing the tape, and I'm watching Luque, right? I watch him in his last fight, for example, right? Who was his last fight? Calvin Gastelum. Let me pull it up right here. Luque, right here. So I pull up his fight, and it was against Calvin Gastelum. I pull up the fight, and I'm like, this guy, like, he's losing the fight, and then he just switches his stance from a rear uppercut to a lead uppercut, drops fucking Calvin Gastelum. I don't know why. Like, bro, the round is almost over. You lost the round. The round is almost over. Luque has very good front chokes. Just lay on your back for another 30 seconds, and then you're back on the feet. Because Luque's not going to take you down. At least if he tries, he can't take you down. I don't know why Calvin Gastelum tried to get up and he gave up his neck and got submitted. It just makes no fucking sense to me. But that's what happens when you have older fighters, right? But he was losing that fight. And the fight that really sticks out to me was his prior fight against Joel Alvarez, because I know everyone loves Joel Alvarez, but at the end of the day, like, Joel Alvarez's striking isn't that good. Like, he doesn't hit hard, right? It's very, like, pitter patter. And he lost the first round convincingly. However, in round two, he was so fucking tired, I don't know from what, that he went for a takedown and he got reversed. And he couldn't get back up. And then in round three, same thing. He's so fucking tired, he went for a takedown and he got reversed again. And he just smelled his crotch for 5 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? It's like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. Because then you watch Tresean Gore, and then Tresean Gore's a fucking dog. And he's not going to quit. And he's a dog. And he has decent cardio. And he has decent takedown defense. And he has good wrestling. And his chin is a little suspect. And he's willing to trade in the pocket. And he's constant pressuring. And I'm like, fuck. If homie doesn't get, finished in round one, I could see Tresean Gore winning this. If Tresean Gore does not get finished in round one, I see him winning this fight. Because he's going to win round two. And he's going to win round three. How? Because Luque, I don't know if it's him getting old, but like, why would you slow? Like, it's not like Joel Alvarez kicked his ass so bad in round one that he was just gassed. No, it was a nice back and forth, and then boom, round two he was tired, went for a takedown, got reversed. Boom, like, he gave up. What I saw from Luque and again the Alvarez fight, he gave up, and I'm like, you're fighting a fucking dog like Tresean Gore, who knows he's dog shit but knows he has heart, and he's coming off of that finish against Asmat Bakoyev where he just got the 25k extra bonus. He's going to come and fight for your money, man. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to decision. All I see is Luque round one or Tresean Gore round decision. Round two or three or decision. I'm going to have to go Tresean Gore. I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this because Luque should be minus 200. Luque should be minus 300. But the fact that he quit, I cannot take a fucking quitter. He quit. And again, it's hard because Tresean Gore, he was dropped by Bekoyev. He was hurt by Rivera. He was knocked out by Tulio. He was knocked out by Brundage. He gets hurt a lot. But whatever. Fuck, man. Again, when this fight came out, I was like, holy shit, if Eric McConico survives, he could probably, win a decision here. And then I rewatched tape and I'm like, yeah, no. Because I had that for his last fight. I had Eric McConico via decision against Rodolfo. But in this fight, no. Donte Johnson. I'm going to take Donte Johnson here. I'm probably going to take him by knockout. But if Eric McConico survives round one and Donte Johnson is tired, no, I take that back, is gassed, I would live bet McConico. Because McConico, like, he has decent striking. He has decent wrestling. Like, he's there. He's a little chinny, but he's always there. He's clean. He would outpoint him round 2 and 3, right? So Now this is the fight right here. Okay, look, this is the hard fight. Charles Energy Johnson versus Eduardo Chapolin. This is the problem here. Okay, and the problem here is Charles Johnson. Okay, because Charles Johnson is fucking weird, and I'll tell you why. Charles Johnson, if you ignore Alex Perez and Bruno Silva, if you ignore those two fights, he's fucking good. His striking is beautiful. His pressure is beautiful. His footwork is beautiful. His cage control is beautiful. All of his losses are to wrestlers, except for Timirov. He lost to Asu. It's fucking Asu. He lost to fucking, Muhammad Mokaev. That's Mokaev. He lost to Esteban. That's Esteban. All these guys that he lost to wrestled him. And whenever he's fighting strikers, he's fucking dominating them. Dominating them. And then I watch Eduardo Chaplin, and I'm like, there's nothing special of this guy, right? In his Contender Series fight, it was a back and forth round one, and then round two he was gassed. Round three he was gassed, and he was going for takedowns. He wasn't getting them. They were striking. He got a takedown. Round two and three he was gassed. He's not dangerous anywhere. He's not a dangerous striker. He's not a dangerous grappler. He slows down. While Charles Johnson doesn't fucking slow down. You have to be an exceptional wrestler to hold Charles Johnson down. And then Charles Johnson pressure is the best thing because he pressures you so well where he's pressuring you and then you can't even hit him because he pressures you and and then the second you throw, he steps back and then you get even more tired because when you throw and you don't hit your target and you're just swinging over yourself, bringing that punch all the way back up, it takes energy. And that's what Charles Johnson is so good at because in that Temirov fight, if that was a 4 or 5 round fight, he was going to knock out Temirov. The same way he finished Joshua Van. Joshua Van got tired, he finished him. Lona Kavanaugh got tired, he finished him. It's because he's so good at controlling the ring. However, if that Charles Johnson shows up, he's going to smoke this fucking Chaplin guy. The problem is when I watch his Bruno Silva fight, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Because that's not the Charles Johnson I remembered. So did Charles Johnson all of a sudden become washed? Because if Charles Johnson all of a sudden became washed, he's going to lose because he's dog shit. But if it's the same Charles Johnson in the Loner fight, in the Timirov fight, Sumer Deriji, Joshua Van, Jake Hadley, that Charles Johnson would come in here and win 30-27, or he's going to finish this guy. And minus 120 is going to look so fucking free. But it's hard because I don't know if he's washed. But it's like this other guy is so mid. I know a lot of people like this Eduardo guy. Bro, I watched him in the Contender Series. He's mid. He's literally mid. The Charles Johnson from literally a year ago, if he's the same fighter, he's going to smoke him. And he's going to look like a minus 1,000 favorite. I'm telling you. But I don't know which Charles Johnson shows up. I'm taking Charles Johnson. Okay. This is where it gets interesting. Now, when I first looked at this fight, I'm like, holy fuck, on the striking aspect, Chidi, because Joel Alvarez, I don't think he has one takedown in the UFC. He literally has 0 takedowns in the UFC. He's a fucking BJJ nerd that loves to strike, or he's a phony where he has no wrestling. I don't fucking know which one it is, but Joel Alvarez loves to strike, and I'm not really high on Joel Alvarez's striking. I honestly think it's dog shit striking, and I'm like, oh my god, if this fight stays on the feet, Chidi's gonna smoke him. Then I started watching Chidi, and I'm like, the fuck? Why did I think Chidi was such a good striker? Like in his last fight against Carl Leal, he was just on the back foot. And sure, it's Carl Leal, but like even in round one, like he was slowing down in round one. He was barely throwing. Just all he was doing was front kicks. And like to me, bro, if you're throwing a front kick, you're just fucking scared, right? Like you're scared. You want some distance. You want to control the range, and you're just doing front kick, jab, front kick, grab, clinch, knee. Like he didn't want to engage. And then round two, he was gassed. Round three, he was gassed. I'm like, whoa, why is this entire card filled with gassers? Like, look at the look at the 1 minute. Fuck, what do you call it? When they sit down and they take a 1 minute break. When Chidi sat on his stool in round 1 and 2, bro, he was gassed. He was breathing so heavy. He couldn't even talk. His corner's like, come on, you got this. You got this. 1 more round, 2 more rounds. Come on, man. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, why did I think you were so much of a better striker than I thought you were? Because he looked so mid in that fight. His striking was so slow. No, his striking was fast, but like he was hardly throwing anything to the face. Everything to the body, low kicks, teeps. Like he wasn't committing to anything. It's like he just wanted the fight to pass. And then Joel, decent striking, not the best. 1-2s, hooks, straight knees, whatever. I thought Joel's only path to win this fight was via submission. I honestly think Joel could win on the feet too. I honestly do, and it's crazy. I think Joel wins this fight. I think he could beat him on the striking. I think he could beat him by submission. And it's tough because Carlos Leal tried to take down Chidi and he couldn't. Chidi had quick fucking hips. I know Joel's submission is plus 200. Joel by decision is like plus 4 500. I could see either avenue in play here because with Joel Alvarez, it's very unpredictable because he doesn't force the submission. Even though here, I'm telling you, if Joel gets the back once or twice, it's over. I don't know if he is, just because he's not offensively wrestling ever, so we do not know. So, honestly, I think Joel wins. Submission, decision, money line, I think he wins. Next up, we have, Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovics. Of course, Ribovics going to win. The problem is how. Ribovics is very pillow hands. I don't even think he has a knockout with his hands in the UFC. If I double check right now, he's 15 and 3. He's 30 years old, 5'10", 69 inches of reach. He has 7 knockouts, 5 submissions, 3 decision wins. The last time he got a knockout was no. A head kick? No. I'm looking for hands. So the last time he got a knockout with his hands was in the Contender Series 4 years ago. Now I know Barbosa is very chinny, but let me tell you this, okay? If Barbosa fights this fight very content and very defensively, the fight will go to a decision. If Barbosa fights Estevan the way he fought Jalin Turner, and that's fucking thrown the fucking pocket, of course Barbosa's gonna get clipped. But like I'm minus 155 or minus 170, I'm not gonna play Ribovics via knockout. I can't. If Barbosa is smart and just cruises this fight, I see Estevan winning a decision. I truly do. But if Barboza is standing in the pocket and swinging, of course Ribovic is gonna win. He's gonna knock him out. Ribovic is the pick, whatever. He's minus 600. He's supposed to fucking win. It's not really anything special. Mansur Abdul Malik against Dustin Stoltzfus. I like this fight. I think Abdul Malik wins. I think there's a very good chance that he wins a decision here. He's minus 600. I know his knockout's minus 105. I personally can't play the knockout. I do like the decision angle. I'm gonna go rewatch tape on this again. I just watched it an hour ago, but if I'm gonna bet on someone, I want to rewatch tape 2 or 3 times. I think I know Malik's gonna win this fight. I think he probably wins. He's supposed to win by knockout, but at minus 105, if I'm not super confident that you're gonna win by knockout, I'm probably gonna take you by decision. I think Mansur Malik. I think by decision. It's a long shot, but whatever. Okay, this is where we're gonna talk. This is where we're gonna talk a lot. Jalin Turner versus Fernandes. Kaue Fernandes. When this fight got announced, I was like, I'm slamming Fernandes. And this is why I have to rewatch tape. I'm slamming Fernandes. Then when I saw him as an underdog, I'm like, I'm slamming Fernandes. And then I started doing tape, and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck was I thinking? Kaue Fernandes, all he does is low kicks, and he does good low kicks. He has the best low kicks in the division. However, have we ever seen a low kick specialist be a champion ever? No. Have you seen a low kick specialist make the top 5 just by low kicks? No. Have you seen a low kick specialist break into the top 10 and stay there for a long time just off of low kicks? No. Because you can't. You can't. Sure, listen, you could beat Harry Hardwick via low kicks. Yes, it's Harry Hardwick. You went to a decision against Guram Kutaladze, who's not even in the UFC anymore, via low kicks. You couldn't even fucking finish him. You beat Muhammad Yahya, who was dropped 10 times by the fucking Asian guy in UAE. And then you lost to Mark Mark Diakis. And that's it. And I'm like, oh, why did I think you're so much better than you really were? Because again, it's like, low kicks are nice and everything, but the problem here is Jalin Turner, southpaw, Fernandes orthodox. So when Fernandes throws a low kick with his lead leg, it's obvious and it's slow, and it doesn't have the same damage and impact as it does as a real low kick. However, the thing that Fernandes does do is he likes to switch his stance to southpaw to match your southpaw, and then throw the rear low kick, which is very damaging. But that's so obvious. Like, it's been working, but that's so obvious. And if Jalin Turner has a fucking brain cell, he would do tape. And I'm like, okay, every single time Fernandes switches stance, I know the low kick is coming. So I'm striking him, oh shit, he switched, I'm stepping back. Or, oh shit, he switched, check. Because all Fernandes does, every single time Fernandes switches to southpaw, go watch the tape, he's setting up the rear low kick. That's all he does. So, or when he steps through, or if Fernandes steps through, the low kick is coming. You know what's coming. And that's it. Now, the most simple, there's only two ways to counter a low kick. Number one is by blocking it, by checking it. And number two is by absorbing it and straight right down the pipe. We see so many knockouts. They eat a low kick or they time the low kick's coming because as you're throwing a low kick to the calf, I should say, a calf kick, you can't really defend yourself. You're throwing a calf kick, it's so straight, you can't really put yourself off of center. And that's why the straight down the right always lands and it hurts. Drops them, knocks them out, whatever. When it's a low kick, for example, if you ever seen Muay Thai low kicks when it's the thigh, or kickboxing low kicks when it's the thigh, when they're committing to the low kick, they throw their entire body to the left side. So as I'm throwing the left kick to the kick to the thigh, I'm swinging and I'm swinging my body to the left, so my head is off center and I'm committing to it. But when it's a calf kick, you don't really want to commit to a calf kick. It's too close range, so you're really just throwing it fast, which is just straight up, straight back down, and your face is always vulnerable. Now, when it comes to Jalin Turner, that's what he's good at. He's good at timing you. He's good at a 1-2 down the pipe. He's good at countering you. He's so fucking good when it comes to striking. It's crazy. And, I'm watching his fights and I'm like, Jalin Turner, he's not really like susceptible to low kicks as much as I thought he was. Jalin Turner, he'll switch his stance. He'll block low kicks. In this fight, all he has to do, oh shit, Fernandes switch stance, low kicks coming, block it. Low kicks coming, step back. Listen, Jalin Turner is a very good fighter. He is, okay? His striking is crazy. It's beautiful. I want to go over his record with you. Edson Barboza, he caught Edson Barboza because Edson Barboza was too aggressive. He knocked his ass out. He was beating Ignacio Bahamondes, and then he got caught into a triangle choke. It is what it is. Ignacio is a tricky customer. Those long fucking legs. What can you do? He was beating the shit out of Moicano. And then he fucking basically gave up. Moicano got a takedown and just fucking sat on him on top. King Green knocked him out cold. Easy. Dan Hooker. This is where it gets interesting because Dan Hooker is really the only man that beat Jalin Turner. And it's because stylistically, Dan Hooker is quite durable. And his style. So the way Dan Hooker beat Jalin Turner was by constantly moving forward. Dan Hooker got his fucking ass kicked in round one. But that is the reason why he won the fight. Round one, he basically took it off and just got his ass kicked. Always in Jalin Turner's face, always in his face, pushing him back, putting on the pressure, forcing him to throw more than he wants to throw, which makes you even more tired. And he basically gave up the first round. And then round 2 and 3 comes, and Jalin Turner kind of slows down. And then the one problem I have with Jalin Turner is when Jalin Turner gets tired in round 2 and 3, when he moves backwards, he doesn't circle anymore. In round 1, Jalin Turner is so fucking good. He's bouncy, he's jumpy. If you step in, he'll counter you, step back, counter you, or if you're coming in aggressively, he'll step back. You're still coming in, he's gonna circle out. However, in rounds 2 and 3, and this is how Dan Hooker hurted him, and this is how Dan Hooker hurt him, was because he's so tired now. Dan Hooker is constantly pressuring him, and Dan Hooker's coming in with a 3-4-5 piece combo, and he's actually stepping forward with his punches. Instead of stepping back and circling, he'll step back and step back again. The footwork is not there. He becomes square, and he'll get clipped on the chin. The lucky thing here is Kaue Fernandes is a very calm fighter. Like, Kaue Fernandes, you could tell, he's a pretty striker. And he doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't want to get knocked out. He doesn't want to overextend on the hands. He knows he's not the best striker when it comes to his hands. So when I'm watching his tape, it's like even when he had ground kutulaza hurt, he would never be overly aggressive or it's going to put himself in danger. Like, I could tell if Fernandes knows he's going to lose a fight or he's losing a fight, he'd rather coast to a decision loss than a knockout loss because he's very low kick heavy. He would shuffle here, shuffle there, low kick, shuffle, circle, low kick, move, throw 1-2, shuffle, low kick. Like, he will never engage in the pocket. He doesn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't want to put himself in danger. His head, I should say, in danger. It's always his lower body that's in danger. And in this fight, bro, the only way Turner loses this fight is if honestly, how does he lose this? Is if fucking Fernandes turns into Khabib and starts wrestling the fuck out of him. Because on the feet, Jalin Turner is he's too good. I don't see, and this shouldn't happen. And the best wording for this is Jalin Turner's fight to lose. This is Jalin Turner's fight to lose because he should win this fight. Jalin Turner should not lose this fight via low kicks. Could you imagine being one of the best strikers in the division, 6'3" long, one of the best divisions in a striker in the division, and you lose because you got fucking low kicked? Bro, there's a reason why we don't see low kick knockouts at the highest levels because everyone knows how to fucking defend it. You're literally a pure fucking striker. You should be able to fucking block low kicks, especially in southpaw. In southpaw, you're not going to get as much low kicked. And for Fernandes to throw a hard low kick, he has to switch his stance. So you know, oh shit, stance switch, oh shit, low kick, block. That's it. That's it. Like, if Turner loses this fight, it's because he's fucking retarded. Because in this fight, when Kaue throws his lead low kick, it's not gonna hurt. You know how hard it is to generate power as a lead low kick? It's almost impossible. It's not gonna do anything. And when you're throwing a hard low kick on the inside, that also doesn't do anything. The only time Fernandes could throw a hard low kick is when he switches his stance, which he does in every single fucking fight. He switches his stance and then he throws that left low kick hard, very fucking hard. But again, it only takes 2 minutes of fucking tape to realize that, and then just fucking go drill it in training, and then boom, you do it in the fight. It's that simple. I think Turner wins this fight. I'm not going to take his knockout. It's too short. I think Turner wins. He's minus 150. I think Turner should win this. I wouldn't be surprised if in hindsight, if Turner wins this and he looks like a fucking minus 1,000, just because, bro, Kaue Fernandes isn't as aggressive. He's not aggressive enough to clip him or catch him. And I wouldn't be surprised if this fight goes to decision. That's plus 320. I also like both the fights by decision. They're like plus 650 each. I think there's a good chance this fight goes to decision because when you have two high level strikers, it typically goes to the decision. Finish. Khalas. Oh, fuck. Okay. Mackenzie Dern versus Jalin Robinson. I'll make this simple for you guys. Jalin Robinson is fucking dog shit. And I say this because I have a futures ticket on Jalin Robinson. If she is the champion by the end of the year, I turn $200 into $10,000. Yay. But no. Jalin Robinson, she's horrible. She only has wins against people who severely lack in the grappling game. She only beats bitches who cannot grapple. Outside of that, she's always getting smoked. I'm going to, again, don't take my word for it. I'm going to go redo tape, okay? I'm going to go and redo tape one more time because, again, if I'm going to bet on this fight, I have to do tape 2 or 3 times to be very confident. But from the tape that I have done this week, Mackenzie Dern should smoke her. Like, we saw a better wrestler because the thing about Jalin Robinson, she doesn't have very good control. She's always constantly chasing finishes, right? But we just saw Verne Journo. Oh my god, fuck. We just saw Verna Jandiroba wrestle Dern, and Dern was fucking reversing her. If Jandiroba, a bitch that loves to lay and prey on you and camp in fucking half guard and camp in full guard, was getting reversed off of Dern, and I swear Dern won 4 rounds. What the fuck is Jalin Robinson going to do? Jalin Robinson has no fucking striking. I know Dern doesn't have the best striking either, but if you watch Jalin Robinson strike, she has no striking. She has no head movement. She has no footwork. She looks so fucking clueless on the feet, and it makes no sense because, homie, you have been doing MMA. You've been an MMA fighter since 2013. You're telling me for 13 years you couldn't have practiced your fucking striking? It makes no sense because her wrestling is decent. Her BJJ is really good too, but you're going against Dern. Dern has better BJJ than you. She has great wrestling. She has great reversal, and she has bad striking, but much better striking than Jalin Robinson. I don't know how Robinson wins this. I don't know how. I don't know how she wins this, and I have a futures ticket for 10,000, and I do not know how she wins this fight. I truly do not know how. I'm gonna rewatch this because right now Dern is minus 195, and honestly, if I rewatch tape and I'm like, holy shit, Dern's really gonna win this, I wouldn't mind laying fucking $2,000 to make $1,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rewatch this, but I think Dern wins via domination. Okay, and for the main event, we're gonna have to go on a quick commercial break. If I had an editor, I would cue the elevator music, but I gotta go take a twinkle. I'll be back. Okay. Okay. Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. Listen. Are you listening? There's two fights we have to look at. Alexander Volkanovski won versus Islam Makhachev, and Dustin Poirier won, or Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. In the fight against Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev, there's only one round, which was round 4, that Islam had total control in the wrestling of Volkanovski and kind of dominated him on the floor. On all the other 4 rounds, it was a close fight. It was all striking, but Islam won because he was bigger and stronger. And a lot of times you would notice that, Volkanovski would throw, it would have no impact. Islam would throw, it would have impact. And Islam won that fight on the feet because he was bigger and stronger. Not because he's better than Volkanovski, but because he was clearly bigger and stronger than Volkanovski. And he couldn't take down Volkanovski. It was too hard. Volkanovski is a tricky customer. He's very small. He has very good center base of gravity. It's hard to do. It's hard to wrestle people bigger than you and smaller than you. It's hard to keep them down. And that's what happened here. And he beat Volkanovski on the feet because he was bigger, because he was stronger, because he was longer, and that's how he won this fight. He was bullying him because of size, because Volkanovski's fucking small, man. And Islam is not... Bro, Volkanovski's a 145er, Islam's a 170er. He fucking beat a 145er. And then in the fight against Dustin Poirier, when they were dry, round 1 and round 2, it only took one fucking takedown each round to take down and hold Dustin Poirier down. However, after Islam got up, round 3, when they were all sweaty, and Islam started slowing down. I also forgot to mention that in round 3, 4, and 5 of the Volkanovski fight, Islam also did slow down. In this fight against Dustin Poirier, he slowed down around 3, 4, and 5, and in round 3, he didn't get a takedown because as you slow down, as you get tired, your takedowns become a lot more obvious, a lot more slower, takes a lot more energy, and you kind of like in your head mentally like, fuck, if I go for a takedown and I don't get it, I'm gonna be even more tired. So it's better for me to not even get a takedown, and that's what Islam did. And he still won round 3 on the feet, but again, that's against a fucking old fucking Dustin Poirier who's slow, who's not the same fighter anymore, who's constantly scared of the takedown. It's just constantly being scared of Islam's takedown is what makes Islam so good. Is when you're scared of his takedowns, you don't want to throw, and when you don't want to throw, and he throws, he wins on the feet. But I wasn't impressed by the Volkanovski win. I wasn't impressed by the Dustin Poirier win. He looked human. Both Poirier and Volkanovski made Islam look human, and those are... Look, listen to me. JDM, 155. Marcano is a 145er. Poirier was a 145er. Volkanovski, 145er. Charles Oliveira was a 145er. And Islam beat them because he's so big and strong. This is the first time in Islam's career he's fighting someone his size or bigger. Ian Machado Garry is bigger. I know we all saw that fucking picture, but Ian Garry's a fucking weirdo. He's those weirdos that wears those fucking... those shoes that like... I don't know, man. I can't even fucking describe those shoes. This fucking cock. Anyways, to beat Ian Garry, to beat Islam Makhachev, this is what you have to do. 1, you cannot be scared of his takedowns. If you are scared of his takedowns, you're not going to throw, and if you're not going to throw, you're instantly going to lose. And 2, you got to have good scrambles. You got to be bigger and stronger than him, and taller and longer. I think. Listen, all I'm saying is. Listen, if Islam Makhachev beats Ian Garry, there's no one else in the division that even has a chance to beat Islam Makhachev. He will finish his career as the best ever if he beats Ian Garry, because he's gonna beat Carlos Prates, he's gonna beat Michael Morales, he's gonna beat all of them. Okay, and I'm being honest, he's gonna beat all of them. It's that simple. Ian Garry is the only person in his way. Ian Garry is much taller than him, is much longer than him, is much bigger than him, is much stronger than him. And that's crazy saying it, but he is. We saw Ian Garry. We saw him against we saw him against Shavkat Rakhmonov, where Shavkat, held him against the cage for 2 rounds, but couldn't really advance the position. He could advance the position because of how good and defensively Ian Garry is. He was strong. He was fighting for the underhooks. He was holding him there, and Rakhmonov could do nothing. Sure, Ian Garry lost those fights, but if that was against Islam Makhachev, Ian Garry would get out of that. Against a smaller person, when you're wrestling on the fence, it's so much easier to just push him off you and get out of there. Against Rakhmonov, it's not, because Rakhmonov is as big as Ian Garry. When Rakhmonov went for a few takedowns in the middle of the cage, he only got 1. All the other ones, Ian Garry defended, right? He would get a single leg, he defended it, stuffed the head, he would switch his legs up in a high crotch, he would stuff his leg, go back to the cage and defend it. He even reversed Shavkat once to the point where he took Shavkat's back. Ian Garry looks good. I think Islam Makhachev's gonna get a takedown. He's probably going to get two takedowns. He's probably going to dominate the first round. Ian Garry's probably not going to get back up. But I think as the rounds go on, I think Ian Garry, and they become more slipperier, I think Ian Garry, he's just too smart. Like, he has a game plan for every single fucking person. He lost one round to Shavkat. He lost that fight because of one round to Shavkat on short notice in 5 rounds. He beat Kalash Pratas on short notice in 5 rounds. He has a game plan for every single fucking person. Bilal Muhammad didn't even get one single takedown against Ian Garry. And all I'm saying is, listen, this fight will be won on the feet because we saw Volkanovski, a 5'6" guy, go 4 rounds on the feet with Islam. We saw Dustin Poirier go 3 rounds on the feet with Islam. And Islam won this fight on his feet. But this fight against Ian Garry, I don't see Islam Makhachev holding Ian Garry down for 3 rounds. And if that means there's going to be 3 or 4 rounds on the feet, I give those rounds to Ian Garry. I think every single round that they're on the feet, Ian Garry is going to win. I think Ian Garry, we saw him against Bilal Muhammad. He was fighting with his hips out. And even if you fight someone with his hips out and you commit to a single leg, by the time you get it, he's on the cage. And when you're on the cage, it's a lot simpler to defend takedowns. And on the feet, the way Ian Garry fights so long, the jabs, the oblique kicks, the head kicks, the 1-2s, constantly moving, he's going to win the rounds on the feet. I think this fight is close. I think the rightful favorite is Islam. He should be minus 250. I think the pick should be Islam. I think anyone listening to this, Islam should win this fight. I mean, it's fucking Islam Makhachev, but I'm personally not gonna bet on Islam at minus 300, minus 350. I'm not going to do that just because. Listen, when I have a max bet, I try to make sure there's a clear favorite and there's a clear way for this guy to win. It's clear via domination. And this fight against fucking Ian Garry, I don't see that. I don't think it's going to be domination. I think if Islam Makhachev wins, it's going to be by 1 round. I think if Islam wins, it'll be by 1 round. 48, 47. That's what I see. And if that's the case, and I think that there's a very good chance Ian could win, I'm going to pick Ian Garry. I'm going to bet Ian Garry. I'm probably going to bet Ian Garry plus 13.5, which means Ian Garry just has to win 1 round and last a decision, and I cash. And that's what I'm probably going to do. I think Ian Garry wins. I think Ian Garry, because again, listen to me. Listen, I've made this mistake before and I'm not going to make this mistake again. We've seen this before. Ilia Topuria moved up to fight at 155 and he got smoked. Why did he get smoked? Not because he's not better than Justin Gaethje. He's clearly better than Justin Gaethje everywhere. He's a better wrestler, better grappler, better striker. He probably has more power. Well, I take that back. He's better than Justin Gaethje everywhere, but he lost. And the reason why he lost was because he moved up a division. And when you move up a division, people are able to eat your shots a lot better. People are stronger than you. And in that fight against Justin Gaethje, he didn't even hurt Gaethje once to the face. Justin Gaethje ate all the shots to the head. To the body, he got dropped. But then again, because he's 155 and Ilya's 145, he was able to eat those shots and continue to fight, while Ilya couldn't. He gave everything he had and he gassed out. Arman Tsarukyan was a minus 600 favorite against Colby Covington in RAF wrestling. And Arman is the better wrestler, but in that fight he lost because Colby Covington was bigger and stronger than him, and then he used his physicality to win that wrestling match. As a minus 600 favorite, he lost. Alex Pereira lost to Cyril Gane because he moved up 2 divisions. We saw this fight in PFL last week, PFL Charlotte, as a main event. Simeon Powell versus Yagmadosh, or whatever his name is. Simeon Powell was taller, longer, and bigger than the wrestler. And the wrestler couldn't get one single takedown because he was bigger, taller, and stronger. And I see that happening here. I think he's too big, too strong, too taller than him. I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think either Islam wins by 1 round or Ian Garry wins. That's how close of a fight it is. I'm gonna take Ian Garry by spread. All I need is Ian Garry to win 1 round, last a decision, and that's it. If Islam wins, big deal. It's not like I'm fucking slamming Islam money line or Ian money line. There's my max bet. I don't even have a max bet for this week. It's gonna be a close fight. Stay away from this fucking fight. If anything, Islam decision, Ian decision. I don't know. My pick is Ian. My bet is Ian. I stand on fucking Ian Garry Cook.